Israel, the Israelite school of universal and practical knowledge under commanding General YAHANNA presents the Lord's 55th annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 55th annual Pass is rapidly approaching. Commanding General YAHANNA is calling for all Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to remember what the Lord did for us by saving us from our oppressors and choosing us to be a special people unto Him, the real Jews and Israelites. Passover will be held in Durham, North Carolina.
Shalom. How about Shalom? Cut up. You might mute. Okay.
Shalom. How about Shem? How about Shabbat?
Shalom. How about Shabbat? Welcome to our TikTok viewers, Welcome to the conflict zone, another episode. Number 10. This week now we want to look at the topic says banking by black, but basically the war among the black man and woman that has been waged against us from ever since. They don't give us access as they should to the banking institutions. Many times it's simply because of the color of your skin.
Right.
You are until you're proper. This internet seems to be on another level.
The oppressor is the devil, the Bible speaks of.
Oppressor is the devil, the Bible speaks of. These so-called modern technology. It's because of these technology why we are able to fully understand. I mean, many of us as black knew that we were ostracized and marginalized. Internet. The other nations used to deny it, but with this
Salaki, sir.
Fine.
Okay. All right. I was just making sure that you wasn't froze out of one.
Yeah, the net is unstable. I was trying to do some switcheroo. All right, so let's get it. Right, so I know that in the States, they have a more open, racism is a bit more open in the States than here in Jamaica. In Jamaica, they have it is so the word secluded. They have hide it so much. Yes, it's secluded. They have hide it so good that one or people perpetrate it on each, don't even realize it. And two, they see it. Many other people don't see it. They don't, and when they do see it, they don't see it as racism. They see it as, well, the man was trying to protect him wealth, something like that. But the case is, if you start acquiring wealth, you will see it. Because you're going to realize that, hey, this is always moving against me like this. I have more money than him. So why is he like that? But he was like that from in the garden. They've always been puffed up and think they're better than you. From way back in the garden.
Okay.
Right. So where should I start? Should I start in Jamaica or start in the US? I want to look at both scenarios. In Jamaica, you ever hear about
Shalom, Allah, Yahweh, Shem, Yahweh, Shem, Barakatah, sir.
Yahweh, Shem.
SHALAM? Why didn't you not surprise now? What is
Me send you a message, man, but come like we are use the phone and I get to see it.
No, I never see it. SHALAM, Russia, Barakatah.
Yahweh, Shem, Yahweh, Barakatah. Wagwan.
Not much. Yeah, we're talking about banking while black. The atrocities that our people face while trying to do business, and they're just thinking that it's just rough. Just rough all day. But it's not just rough, it's just rough. It's rough because you're black. Rough because you are the children of Israel. Right? It's rough because you are who you are, and these nations don't like you. That's the reality. You like them. When they will show in the semblance of liking you, you have something that they benefit from. So if your aim is to let them like you, then go ahead and get something that they can benefit from. They will like you, man. But as soon as they get what they want, they're gonna like you no more.
Right.
All right, first thing there. Let's start with Zephaniah 2:1.
Tom Concert. The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, and verse 1.
It's on the screen.
Tom Concert. Gather.
It's on the screen, man.
Tom Concert. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together. nation, not desire.
Right. And it's, it's one nation, not desired. Many other nations, you hear them say they experience some amount of racism from the white man. But guess what? We experience it from Mr. Dua, and we also experience it from these other nations.
Right.
Right. And at the same time, experience it from us. Who do we hate? We don't show any hate to any other nation. There are individuals of other nations who have done us ills. We might not like that individual, but generally, we don't just show it to a nation because they are of that nation.
So like, yes, sir. Each other.
Okay, so we
Okay.
yeah, for real.
Okay.
We hate each other more than
Mhm.
hating the other nation. Yeah. And why is that so? Because of who we are. But we are in the truth. Trying if all our people would listen to us rather than listen to the oppressor, man, they would solve their problem overnight. But they don't want to listen. They don't want to listen. What they're listening to the oppressor now with why it took it took them about 200 years and some lashings and things for them to be this like this with the oppressor. So but Christ is gonna reverse that. We're gonna do this same thing back to him, just like the scripture said. Granted, as a matter of fact, it's the same thing. We're going to do twice
Right.
as much as he did to us. Scripture said, grant unto him double up him cup. There is nothing he did. There is nothing they do to us, which, institutionally, we see there's any remorse. They look in the face and snub. Yeah, we did that. So their time is coming. What we experience in trying to do business as blacks and not being able to access these institutions as we should, even when we're qualified many times. This is downright barbarous. I mean, you definitely have to just eat somebody. You have a business, you open a door, and you say, okay, I'm selling this. In order for you to qualify to get this, speaking of loan, you have to have XYZ. I said, nice. I have XYZ. And then you go now. And then they say, okay, you don't actually double XYZ.
Gone.
Just so that they don't deal with it, because they think that by you not, they think if you should access what they have to offer, the thing that would make that person better financially, or then you are going to become better than them.
Gone.
I don't know, maybe in the time when the black communities were striving, that was what was happening. And I said, no, we have to pull back from these people. But then, because in the Black Wall Street, we had black banks, black owned banks. But I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened at all. Welcome. Turn off. Yeah, hello, welcome. Can send it back. All right, so the thing is, Shalom. This man don't even speak English. All right. Next scripture. Tupac. Some Indians come on. I don't know. What nation are you? What's up, my nigga? Yeah, this is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, you know? Yes. Right. So we're all the way in Jamaica. Have I heard of Jamaica? All right. In the meantime, give me you know what? Let us go to a thing there. To one of them slides or video that we have lined up. What is lending discrimination? All right, I'm going to share this tab. What the heck is this one? All right, lending discrimination. No, this is the US. Where are you from? Where are you? Which country in? Oh, God, yeah. Oh, Israelites, man. Israelites. Guyana is what tribe again?
Guyana, I think it's Asha and Benjamin.
Yeah. So these brothers look like.
I think there's
so, you know you're Israelite, right? You know that? Yeah, Israel. No, not from Israel. You're an Israelite. Son of Jacob, the people in the Bible. That's you. You ever read the Bible? Huh? TikTok? Yeah, that's the people. When you read the Bible, you're reading about your well, you shouldn't have on those, according to the Bible, you should not have those tattoos. No, that is Ankh. That is Egyptian. All right. So you are the tribe of, I think what? Asha? Where is my information? Guyana have a lot of Benjamites, yes. But yeah, they have a lot of another race, another tribe too. Oh, they are West Indians, so maybe majority of them is yeah, man. So majority of them is Benjamin. So you're welcome to stay here and learn. We're talking about the scriptures, but this is a podcast, the conflict zone. We're talking about banking while black. You know, the discrimination against blacks by the lending institution. All right, so you ready to read, brother?
Come concert.
All right.
Come concert. What is lending discrimination? Lending discrimination occurs when lenders base credit decisions on factors other than a borrower's credit worthiness.
See? So even though you are qualified by what the word them call it again? Credit score. You might be qualified by your credit score, but you still don't get your loan because there are other factors which they illegally look at, which is many times your ethnicity. They should not do that. Now, they do that purposefully, probably since the 40s, 50s, or so on. They start doing things like that because blacks used to access loans, like in Marcus Garvey time and so on, and make use of it and repay their loans. But after a while, they realize that lending black people money is improving their lives. So obviously, they don't want you to improve your life.
Right.
They want you to stay in the corner and smoke weed and stay there until the cops come and shoot you, accusing you of something, and shoot to kill. And then they, oh, you see those bombs. But you're not really a bomb. You were discriminated against. Continue.
Concert. Today, 3 federal laws offer protection against such discrimination. Number 1, the Fair Act. Number 2, the Equal Credit Opportunity Act. And number 3, the Community Reinvestment Act.
Right. So these various acts, it takes, can you imagine, it takes direct laws to have these institutions change the way in which they do business. So basically, they just do what they wanted to do. All right, this one now, the Fair Housing Act.
Concert. Fair Housing Act of 1968. In 1948, the U.S. Supreme Court deemed racially restrictive deed covenants unenforceable. 20 years later, the Fair Housing Act was enacted. The law protects people from discrimination when they rent or buy a home, apply for a mortgage, seek housing assistance, or engage in other housing-related activities. It forbids discrimination based on race, color, national origin, religion, sex, including gender identity, and sexual orientation, familial status, or disability during any part of a residential real estate transaction.
Right. So in America, it was so blatant that they could not access loans to own property. Couldn't access a loan to buy a thing as simple as a home. And it would have been more widespread in Jamaica hadn't there been, this housing act that we have, which established the National Housing Trust. Right? People say there is still discrimination, but not based on race, really. It's based on, how much you earn. I don't know if they will call that discrimination. It could be because if you're collecting from persons of low income, you should let them be able to access. You have a law that says everybody must pay. So you should have. So you should have a way of letting these persons of a lower income status being able to access these homes. And the price of the homes now, it's ridiculous.
Right.
It's a 1-bedroom now house going up to 10 million Jamaican dollars. Which poor person can buy that?
Right.
It look like they sell them and then, you know, the grandchildren come pay it off. Must be the aim. All right, equal credit opportunity now.
Concert, Equal Credit Opportunity Act of 1974. Discriminatory lending and housing practices continue despite the Fair Housing Act, and civil rights groups advocated for additional laws. In 1974, Congress passed the Equal Credit Opportunity Act. According to the Federal Trade Commission, the ECOA makes it illegal for creditors to discriminate based on race, color, religion, national origin, sex, marital status, age, or because all or part of a person's income comes from public assistance.
Right. One.
Common concept. May ask for some of this information, but they can't use it to deny you credit or establish the terms of your credit. For example, lenders can ask if you receive alimony or child support, but only if you need that income to qualify for the loan.
Right. So now they have to put laws in regulating what questions they ask you, information they gather from you.
Kind of one
So
count.
in 1974. All right, and then by 1977, they have to put in more laws. Read on.
Common concept. Community Reinvestment Act of 1977. Even with the FHA and ECOA on the books, redlining continued in low to moderate income neighborhoods.
Right. So even with those two laws, that was not not enough to have to monitor the discrimination. So they have to come up with another one now. Read on.
Common concept. In this discussion of this period, the website Federal Reserve History notes there is some evidence that overt discrimination in mortgage lending persisted. A few things, common concept. A few things Lucky.
Go ahead.
Common concept. A few things happened as a result. Illinois became the first state to pass a law prohibiting redlining, and it required banks to disclose their lending practices.
I mean, these institutions were tied up in racism, you know, discriminating based on race. They had discriminatory practices all the way up to them necks. So Illinois now have a term where they call redlining. Where once you come from a certain background and things, it's like you're disqualified already just from where you come from. Just because of where you come from. And one of these areas were so-called volatile areas, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If there is crime, if it's an area where, you know, natural disaster persists, then I want your property for you. But somehow you end up there. You know, there's certain red line certain areas.
So like, yes, sir. Employment too as well. You know what I mean? Depends upon the community where you come from. You can't get certain jobs.
Well, right. So yeah. They don't no, that is common in Jamaica.
Gun.
That is common in Jamaica. So you don't even reach it, you don't even start talking about loan yet, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't getting no work. So if you don't have an income, then there's no way you can get a loan.
One gun.
Right. So the thing is, this red line thing, became so, and those who were in authority saw that it's cruel, so they made laws against it. Go on.
Sir. Congress passed the Home Mortgage Disclosure Act, which required banks to disclose the location of financed properties and the borrower's race and gender.
Next one.
Sir. Then President Jimmy Carter signed into law the Community Reinvestment Act.
All right, so the term they use now, all these were used to determine your credit worthiness. What is meant by credit worthiness now? Which is a credit score, really. Average credit score by race. All right, we're going to touch on this one before we continue that one. Can you see this one?
Sir. Average credit scores by race.
All right.
Disparities exist among racial and ethnic groups, but all have relatively good scores on average.
All right, so this was average credit score by race. We done?
Sir. Studies of average credit scores show substantial disparities among different racial and ethnic groups. This article looks at those disparities and some possible reasons for them.
All right. We done? Key takeaways.
Sir. Key takeaways. Credit scores do not factor in age, race, income, or place of residence.
All right.
However, the other factors that are used to calculate credit scores can disproportionately affect certain racial groups. For example, credit scores generally favor mortgage holders over renters.
So if you already have a mortgage, which means that you have already qualified for one, it's more likely that you should get one because you're living in a house that you're paying for, but somehow you need another mortgage to buy another property. You're more likely to get it than someone who was in a rented home. So who need it more?
Gonna want that.
That's a good point. It's like
so they don't target you based on need.
Right.
You can't live in more than one house at a time. So you already have one. This is how NHT in Jamaica here kind of, remove some of the bias. Once you benefit from an NHT house, you can get mortgages to enhance the one that you have, but they ain't gonna give you a second one because there are others out there who don't get it. But it wasn't so in the States. All right. We done?
Sir. Asian and white populations in the United States have the highest average credit scores, followed by Hispanics and then blacks.
Who's at the bottom? Who's at the bottom? Okay, read on.
What credit score studies have found, based on FICO score data, the payment processing company S.H.I.P.K calculated that the average credit score across all Americans was 703.
Wow.
The Asian population had the highest credit scores overall, with an average of 745. That was slightly above the average for white Americans. which stood at 734.
Mm-hmm.
The Hispanic population had an average score of 701. While the average for Black Americans was 677.
We don't at the bottom. So it was this credit score thing is another racial thing that they came up with.
Right.
Because from a long time ago, Black wages have always been low. They would pay a Black man less to do a job, the same job that they would pay a white person to do. And your credit score includes your income. How does it include your income? I mean, you're constantly getting low income. You cannot access certain things. There are times when you're going to end up slipping up on your rent, because even though your wage is low, you're surviving this year, but next year inflation, your wage is not going up. So at some point you're going to falter on something which is going to affect your credit score. Now, if you have a larger income scale, then you can pay your rent on time, you can pay your bills on time, and so on and so forth. So directly or indirectly, your income does affect your credit score. And I mean, this now also, can you imagine the next couple of years to come, if Christ doesn't return and salvage and save his people? You in a family with don't even start showing up on the credit score, but you were born in that family.
Right.
And you are expected now to have a credit score of 700 and something. You understand? So you see, you become like, in the horse racing, you hear the term late non-starter.
Kind of one gun. So lucky, yes, sir. It's like you inherit a bad credit score,
Yeah, that's the inheritance that the parents left for you.
Right.
No fault of theirs.
Kind of one gun.
That's just what it is.
So like
All right. Yes.
I was gonna say, if I could, it sounds like Deuteronomy 28.
Yeah, verse. What verse?
The stranger shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt be very low.
Man, you see that happening in all kind of way. Even if you go into farming, and let's say you're going to farming and you don't require any money to farm, because you get a good start. And then you have another nation come have a farm right beside yours. For some reason, his farm still flourish more than yours.
Right.
Probably is the access to market, because the market that is able to access, you might not be able to access that. Yeah, you understand? In Chilani, you have yam farmers. Almost all the yam farmers there in Chilani are Black people. Grace Kennedy have a yam processing plant up there where they can yam and thing. And you have certain time of the year where them pay. What they buy the yam for from these people, they are not able to replant. Right? And then you have a time now when outside of the yam season, they are willing to pay 3 times the regular price. But by that time, majority of the Black people don't have any yam to sell to access the high price. You see, our people just need to wake up here, man. Just do what the Moses said. Get yourself together and serve him, and stop believing that, you know, that these people love you. Stop
Right.
my Christianity fool you and tell us a white God will come out and the sky come save you. No white Christ not coming to save you. If it was a white Christ coming to save you, the white out here in charge of you would have been treated you better.
Come.
Plain and simple as that. But because they're not here to save you, that's what it is. All right, in Jamaica, we don't have them kind of credit score and credit worthiness and blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, we don't know what happened, but you know, you have some things like these happening out here. So if you think you can run fast and make some money so that you don't have to go and borrow from the bank, somehow you just cannot escape the curses. You know this man, Trooper Hour.
Come, sir.
Who's this?
Is that Usain Bolt?
All right, this is Usain Bolt,
Come.
the Jamaican world sprinter.
Right.
All right, now this man, you ever heard of his story out here where he was swindled of about some 12 million US?
Come, sir.
And all right, here's the story. You can read. The 37-year-old.
Come, sir. The 37-year-old reportedly had a balance of $2 billion, or in U.S. dollars, Slovakia. The 37-year-old reportedly had a balance of in Jamaican dollars $2 billion, or in U.S. dollars 12.7 million, as at October 31st, 2022.
All right. Read on.
A year after discovering that approximately $2 billion had gone missing from his account at investment firm Stocks and Securities Limited, Sprint legend Usain Bolt says he's still holding firm.
So, 1 year gone and you're nothing about the money. Suppose it was money that the young man was decide, have put away to say, I'm going to take time, live off it.
Right.
Because, you can't live off that in Jamaica here for a pretty long time. We know he's working and earning money otherwise still, but I think this money was like some payment to like who signed up with again? Nike?
Adidas.
Right. Some payment to Adidas for his brand of track shoes and so on and so forth, and get a couple million. Probably this is one of his accounts. I don't think he have one account. But the fact is, and the thing is, it's just the atrocities that we face in the banking industry as a people. It's real. I mean, him don't need a bank loan. Well, maybe he need one now. But the fact is, let's say him have the money in the bank. He don't need a bank loan. Right? And even if he needs a bank loan, it's not not in the same way that you and I would need a bank loan. It
Right.
would be for some big investment. Maybe he would have qualified. I don't know. But at the same time, look what the same banking institution do to him.
Yeah.
They call it investment institution, but yeah, banking institution is the same investment institution. His money disappear. All right, read on.
Slack, yes, sir. It was Puma.
Right, Puma.
Ghana one can.
All right, he was the one who made Puma. You know, people start looking up to Puma. All right, read on.
Come. In a video posted to his social media accounts on Thursday, Boat said, "Yow, peeps. So it's been 1 year. Just want a new,
Oh no.
just want a new no say me."
Pato. Still there.
Ghana one.
He said, yo, peeps, it's been 1 year. Just want to know, say, me still there. Still I fight the fight. Still hold on. Always will stay strong. You know how the country youths do it.
Come.
All right. So he put up and post something. And by the way, this article that we're reading is the national, call it the national newspaper, Jamaica Greener. Been around since 1834, probably just before slavery thing there, before we come out of slavery. All right, continue.
Come, sir. While he did not specifically reference the SSL fraud, the video was posted exactly 1 year after Boat was alerted of the theft. The 37-year-old reportedly had a balance of $2 billion or 12.7 in US dollars, 12.7 million in US dollars as at October 31st, 2022.
Mm-hmm.
The figure plummeted to 1.8 million, or in Jamaican dollars, or in US dollars, $12,000. Whoa. When Boat checked his accounts after an ex-employee linked to the scheme reportedly alerted him on January 11th, 2023.
All right. So that's what happened to Bolt. Why did such a thing happen to Bolt? I don't know. Was it a case that he was just targeted? That's what it seems like. Like, you know, he was just targeted. But you know, in the States, there is also, I mean, people must have been missing money in the States. But yeah, well, there was a scheme that, you know, the Madoff thing there affected several people. But you know, in the event that people looking on Jamaica and say, boy, you see, so them can go to Jamaica, they know, go foreign and blah blah blah. They think it's better. The first article we read was for America, and this one is America too. You know, there was this video of this woman. I want to pay attention to her age. You see, can you see this? News 10, right?
Come, sir.
Right. Pay attention to her age. When you reach some kind of age, you don't want to be dealing with things like this.
And we start on new tonight at 10 as a Colorado woman is suing one of the largest banks in the country, claiming racial discrimination. At 61 years old, Janetta Vaughn says she was racially.
You hear the age?
61.
61 years old. You don't want to be dealing with them kind of things at this age, man.
Come.
Right? Approaching retirement, you know, getting ready to hang up your hat and to say, well, I fought a good fight. So, you know, let me rest my gory ear. The struggle is just like you are in your 20s or in your teens. You're discriminated just the same.
profiled at a branch in Aurora, resulting in the manager calling the police on her for banking while black, basically using police as intimidation. Tonight, she's sharing her side of the story. It was June 9th of last year when 2 Aurora officers were called to this Chase Bank on Buckley Road for a trespassing call.
Another one, she called the police on her?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's back up. The incident started when Janetta Vaughn walked into the branch that morning to get checks from a teller. You can see her on bank surveillance walking in. Vaughn telling Fox 31 she sat in a chair to unlock her bank card, which she says she keeps locked for security reasons as a former government employee. Then she was approached by the bank manager who asked if she needed anything.
I told her, I says, no, I'm unlocking my card, on my phone, and then I'm going to go up and do my business.
The complaint states that the manager then
All right, so you see how she did now. She apparently in the States they have the option of you can lock the card and unlock the card. So whenever she's not using it, she lock it so nobody can scam her. So she waited until she go. Now this is how scamming is rampant over there. She she didn't do it from home. She waited until she went in the bank to unlock. She sat down to unlock the card so that she can go up to the teller to do her thing.
stated, "You don't need to be rude."
She says, well, you're not welcome here. I'm the branch manager and you're not welcome here. And I says, what do you mean? I says, my money is here. I said, my account is here. She says, well, you're not welcome here and I'm going to call the police.
That manager went into the back and dialed 911 claiming trespassing. Attorneys providing us with that call.
She told me to go away, that when she was ready, she would come up, and I don't need to be giving her the 411. Very rude.
That's when officers arrived. Also talking with the branch manager herself.
But all she had to do was let me know what she was doing and not with the snarky attitude and threatening with it.
Vaughn said she's been a member of Chase Bank since 2019, never made a snarky comment or recorded anyone in the 60-second interaction.
It seemed to be like a danger to me.
On body cam, officers can be heard telling the manager there's no signs posted stating no recording inside. Vaughn didn't appear aggressive, and being rude isn't a law enforcement matter.
All I could see was myself being handcuffed or dragged out or shot or something.
Vaughn overwhelmed.
You see, that is what you call trauma. That is trauma. You see, when the cops showed up, all she could see was just those things that happened to the blacks. Handcuff you, dry out the bank, shot you or something. So she was traumatized, as simple as that.
And Salak, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Salak, don't mean to cut you, sir, but that devil knew that that was a possibility too. That's why she called the cops.
That's right.
You know, it's just one thing they want to see. They want to see you dead.
Cancer.
And it's like, you know, going when she gathered with her friends, that's the highlight of the moment. And the friends say, oh, you did what you have to do. I mean, too bad for her. She shouldn't have done that. You see, like I've said on Sunday, they think we are the problem. The problem is that they think that even after slavery has ended, they are still our boss.
Right.
They are the problem. But no, they think you are the problem. I'm a member of this institution. Work you work there is not your bank. And you're gonna tell me that, you know, I can't come and just sit down and do what I'm doing and come up by the counter. This is what I show you now. You see, in Jamaica now, you wouldn't go in the bank and sit like that and they come up to you in something, in a manner like that, you know. Somebody will come up to you, but they're not going to come up to you and threaten, but they won't call. We never see nothing like this when somebody call first police and anybody in the bank or whatever. I never see that here. I hear of that information.
And Slack, yes, sir, if I may, sir. When is it that the bank managers are teller duty to come up to somebody? Usually it's the security where they're asking to get through.
That's that in our bank here, the security man come up and you're getting through. And if you tell him yes, you're getting through, him just leave you.
Just leave you
You
alone.
must know if you want to sit down there all day and not be through, right? So these things don't happen in Jamaica, but our people believe that because these things not happening, we are not being discriminated. Well, you said, board, show that you don't want a bigger discrimination than what happened to you, say.
Right.
Is he the only one in Jamaica with 10 million US dollar in a bank account? I doubt that. So why his money missing? These things.
With fear, saying she waited for her husband and then left the bank, but is now filing this lawsuit against the manager and JP Morgan Chase.
This is something that has to stop. Whether
You see, that bank manager don't know is that, you see, these owners of these institutions, if they see blacks as slaves, they know the value of these slaves.
Right.
So you see, rather than kick she out the bank as a client, they more kick she the manager.
Right.
No, like I always said, poor blacks give the most trouble, Them give the most trouble. Whether
it's at a banking institution.
What I say, poor blacks, poor whites.
Can.
Poor whites give the most trouble.
Right.
So like if it was poor whites, because they don't know the rich white, he knows that even if him see you as a slim, go and value you, because he knows says you make him rich. But see the poor white now, him think that it is you make him can't get a work, and it's you make people like that. So he hate you even more. You understand? But the rich white, him not going. Of course, him might probably want to kill you too, but him not going to kill you like what him going to kill you with work. And value your labor, and your labor make him rich. But the poor whites now, they want to physically kill you, call the cops on you, and make the cops kill you. But as far as the poor white is concerned, it's because of you why him can't get no work. Because of you why him life is so hard. But him don't know that it is because of the same rich whites. Why? Just like what one of the generals brought up a couple of weeks ago. I think it was General Maheman, something that one of the past president had said. If you can continue, let the average white man in America, thinking that blacks is his problem, he won't notice that you are picking his pocket. You understand that statement?
Can, sir.
Yeah. So as long as the average white man have a problem with you being around, he's not going to notice that the system is oppressing him as well.
Can.
And picking his pocket. And one thing is you, one thing it's the black man. Because then they put it in the news now. Every time they talk about Section 8 and welfare and things, who they show? Blacks.
Right.
And more whites benefit from welfare than blacks.
Come.
That was what when Donald Trump came in office, and Donald Trump believed that it was more black people benefiting from Obamacare, and they must scrap it. And when them look, over 60% whites benefiting from Obamacare. So Rockstone, I can't touch it. Because the face of oppression, the face of anything that is charitable, I think that's us. So the average white man get the impression that you are the one benefiting from it. Now, but they don't know that we work our own money too. This woman have her money. Look at her face. That she looking distressed.
Institution or a grocery store, movie theaters, no matter where you are, I have the right to be there.
And Vaughn was never charged with trespassing. The complaint also alleges that since September of 2021, 4 racial discrimination complaints have been made at that same location on Buckley Road. I did reach out to JP Morgan Chase for comment about those allegations and Ms. Vaughn's incident, and they briefly stated, quote, "We disagree with the allegation. That's the only comment we have."
Of course. They're going to appear to be in her corner now because, you know, they don't want no lawsuit. But if it comes down to kicking her under the curb, they will. All right, the next one. Where's the other one? There was another one which was locally. What is YouTube, TikTok one? I don't think so what that is. All right. Where is it? All right, this one now is Loop News. Let's see if it is. Is it this? No, police agency. All right, this one is about really scamming. All right, I don't think I don't have to touch that one. I don't know. All right, this is another one now, which some pyramid scheme thing. Now, this please and tell me if you think this, if it's blacks behind this or if it's whites or race.
Thousands of Jamaicans have lost their life savings in the latest pyramid scheme to rock the island. I'm Kalila Reynolds, financial journalist and educator based in Jamaica. So pyramid schemes are back in the news. Yup, this latest one involves a company called Warner Media, not to be confused with Warner Brothers Studios, the American film and entertainment company. According to reports, some 50,000 Jamaicans were swindled out of millions of dollars thanks to this scheme that's been going on for at least.
All right, this one now happens on the internet. You see much Jamaicans get caught up in it. Have you ever see this advertisement where you tell you that you can earn money by watching videos?
Got one concert.
All right,
See a lot of
listen. Yeah, see a lot of it. Listen to this one.
Got one concert.
Years. So let me break down what happened, but first, here are some quick definitions. Ponzi and pyramid schemes are both types of investment fraud. While the two phrases are often used interchangeably, there is a difference. In a Ponzi scheme, investors give money to a portfolio manager, the person running the scheme. In return, they're promised huge returns on their investments. When they're ready for their money, they get paid out with the funds contributed by investors who join the scheme after them. A pyramid scheme, on the other hand, is similar, but involves an initial recruiter finding and convincing investors to join the scheme by paying a fee. Those investors then recruit others, and so on and so on. And for each person recruited, the initial recruiter earns money. Like a pyramid, the person at the top benefits the most. Now, most of the reporting on this Warner Media issue is calling it a Ponzi scheme, but based on our research, it actually seems more like a pyramid scheme. Information on the actual company is sketchy, but we were able to confirm that a company called Warner Jamaica Media Company is registered with the company's Office of Jamaica, and it's active. Its address is even listed as Kingston. However, There are reports that it is based in the UK.
Just see where then.
Can in UK.
You know, if it's in the UK, I don't think it's any black people there.
Right.
Is either some, well, when I say black people, I'm talking us Israelites. Is
Right.
either some African or some white, some
Yeah.
Hamite or some white. Yeah. Right. I don't think it's any black. So let's listen. So let's continue.
But back to the actual scheme. Based on what we could find out, it looks like Warner Media started back in 2019 as a quick and easy way for people to earn extra cash on the side. All you needed was a phone and internet, and you could be earning passive income. No muss, no fuss. Interestingly, according to the information on the COJ's website, the company wasn't officially registered until a few months ago, September 2023. The company claimed to collaborate with YouTube and TikTok to increase video traffic for influencers, celebrities, and artists. The platform allowed users to watch videos on TikTok and YouTube by simply clicking a button, and they get paid in USDT, which is a digital currency for the US dollar, just for watching the video. Sounds harmless enough. That before they got started, WM workers had to pay a work deposit, which according to the company's promotional video, cover losses if a worker doesn't complete their daily tasks.
To become a permanent worker at WM, a work deposit must be paid. This for the company to cover losses when and if a worker does not complete their daily tasks.
Daily tasks were assigned based on the level of employment, VIP1, etc. Each level had a different number of daily tasks, and the more tasks you completed, the more money you'd make and increase your level. Outside of that, workers could increase their payment by inviting others, creating a team. Team members.
So that's why you start, you see the ads. Several people. This is how you can earn. Did you know that there's, and I noticed you have some Jamaicans doing the app too. Did you know that you could earn money just by watching videos? That's what it is. Turn out to be a scam.
Right.
Members, of course, had to pay the deposit, and for every member that joins your team, you earn a commission. Each time your team member completes a task, you earn a commission. If your team member builds out a team for themselves, you get a commission off that as well. That's why I say it sounds a lot more like a pyramid scheme. And they seem to have become very popular, even doing charity work and giving back to schools. But as history has shown us, with cards always come crashing down. The company reportedly crashed in January. Many of its members say they haven't been receiving their payout. Thousands of Jamaicans invested in this platform, and now they have nothing to show for it. The thing about Ponzi and pyramid schemes is that they need a consistent inflow of new people to keep the scheme alive. So once recruitment slows down, all hell breaks loose, and it looks like that's what's happened here. The Financial Services Commission highlighted this in their response to the debacle. FSC also noted that Warner Media was not a licensed investment firm, which means no insurance from government. And that's the bottom line. So what do you think of this news? Have you?
Yeah, that's the bottom line indeed. So whether it's the bank or not the bank, we as blacks get scammed. And there's only one answer: gather yourself together. We always think we know more than that. If you gather yourself together, them nation not like you. You know, you gather yourself together, own nation not desire. That's basically what it's telling you, you know. Gather yourself together and you work together. Them other nations don't like you. They see you as opportunity to get rich.
Right.
So one way or another, they find a way to take what you want,
right,
legally or illegally. That's the way it is. All right.
Okay.
All right. Next one now. So we'll go into the thing there now, or we have time, or we can touch another article. Oh, I think we were supposed to go back to the history of lending discrimination. All right. After Illinois. All right. This now is now we're explaining what is redlining.
Mm-hmm. Concert. What is redlining? Before laws expressly prohibited discrimination in lending, the practice known as redlining prevented certain populations from assessing credit. Redlining is the discriminatory practice of denying financial services to residents of certain neighborhoods due to race or ethnicity. Sociologist John McKnight coined the term in the 1960s, based on maps that mark racial and ethnic minority neighborhoods in red. Labeling them hazardous to lenders. The map.
Damn. As what? Hazardous. You know, like hazardous material.
Gun.
That's what the redlining did. Label the people as being hazardous to lenders. Go on.
Council. The maps were created by a federal agency, the Homeowners Loan Corp.
Right. So redlining was a government thing. It came from the government, federal government. What is the home loaners? Need that. All right. There was another news on why did I put that one? There was another thing that was telling us about some level of local what do you call it? Not fraud, scamming, and people that was charged and so on. We don't need to touch that one. But the point is, banking does not have us in any good. As a matter of fact,
right.
This redlining thing that was in the States, even though it was not, should I say legal, even though it was not being, it wasn't even discussed in Jamaica. But guess what? It happened in Jamaica. Because you just want to come from certain communities. They're not even interested in having you in the banks. Right?
Gun.
So if that wasn't redlining, then I don't know what redlining was. All right, so let's get into the business plan before we close out. All right. So before we touch on the business plan, give me Deuteronomy 23, 19 and 20.
Council. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23 and verse 19. Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother, Usury
Right.
of Comic-Con.
Right. So, you know, the Most High forbid us to do things, them same kind of thing that the bank do to us and to other people. The Most High forbid us from doing it to our brother and our sister.
Right.
Right? The Most High say, no, don't do that. It's unlawful for you to, because these banks, even though if they were getting these loans, it would just be another kind of warfare you're talking about, because you'll be accessing the loan, and the loans become predatory loans to your business. Maybe you get the loan and you start out at say 10%, and then they will have a law which say the loan, the percentage could increase. Even though you started at 10, it could end up at 15 or more. So the amount you repay each month could go up. That's another way that they could do it. So, I mean, but the Most High knows about these things, which is why he forbid us from doing these things to each other. But the problem is not we doing it to each other now. We don't have the money to be lending each other money. What is happening is other nation doing it to us. Read on.
Salaki, sir, if I could.
Yeah.
In the hood, some cats be loan sharking as a hustle.
Right in the hood.
In the hood.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one they make the movie of where they can't pay them back and then fine and broke you up.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yes, man. Loan sharks. Well, the loan sharks out here is they call them small, like small business loan places or something like that. But those are the predator loan places.
Okay.
Yeah, the interest rate is high.
Right.
And they might if they tell you 10%, by you pay a processing fee and all the different kind of fee before you actually access the loan. When you calculate it back in the amount to the amount that you borrow, you realize you pay probably 20%. I understand. Probably 20% to access that loan. But they tell you 10 upfront. And then after a while, you see, there was one out here that, I don't want to do him again. People could access that and many people access it and run their business and things, but they still run into some problem with that.
Cash plus.
No, man, Cash Plus. Was that Cash Plus? Was that different? No, that was a Ponzi scheme.
Oh, can't cancel.
Cash Plus became Crash Plus.
Gun.
Yeah, and there was another one, more than one, And all of them crashed, but Cash Plus was the biggest one. The one I'm talking, they used to operate across the island. Can't remember their name. But at the same time, they were borrowing money. They were lending money. But it wasn't a scheme, It's just that the people who borrowed seemed to run into some problem and couldn't repay them loans, so it kind of caused the business to fall. But the interest rate was really high.
Right.
So maybe that's what caused the businesses to fall. Because the high loan becomes predatory loans on your business. I understand.
Okay.
So the most I forbid us to lend upon user. User is basically charging interest on the loan,
Right.
especially the high interest.
Right.
So we can lend, we can sure we can charge interest on any money. We can invest with each other, of course, and get returns on our money. You and I go into some business, you're investing in my business, and you're collecting interest. You're collecting payment and payouts on your investment.
Right.
That's a different thing.
Right.
What it is that you what it is that if we're going into business with each other, you have to know, you have to be careful how you're doing it, because it can't be a loan which you're going to charge interest on. It have to be a loan that is interest free.
Right.
Because believe it or not, we used to own loan institutions. Yeah, we used to lend to other nations. We used to have banks lending to other nations. When I read like Nehemiah and those books, when we were rebuilding the kingdom after the Babylonian captivity, Nehemiah had to get them these lenders to swear that they're going to hold the law according to what it states for lenders. All right. All right, Luke 14, 28 and 29.
Come on, sir. Come, the book of Luke, chapter 48 and verse.
No, Luke 14.
Salaki. The book of Luke, chapter 14 and verse 28. For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it?
Right. So here the most I know, he state this in relation to you getting into the truth. Say, hey, before you even could think of come and following me now, this is what it's going to cost you to come and follow me. It's going to cost you your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, probably even your own life. You have to eat your own life. Why? Because we were in a life of sin, and it's contradicting to what the Most I want. That life of sin is where you go, you party, you have enough girls for the night, you have, you go and eat your ham at Christmas, you celebrate Christmas and so on. Those things that used to make them happy. But to follow Christ, you'll have to give up all that. You have to give up even your family. Why? Because they were the ones who brought you into this way of the world.
God.
But you applied this, but Christ took this from, starting a business or doing something, building a tower. And say, when you go build a tower, that's what you do. So you're going to do the same thing when you come to follow me. So which are you intending to build a tower? Sit it not down first and count at the cost, whether you have sufficient to finish it or not. Continue.
Come on, sir. Verse 29. Lest happily, after he hath laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him.
Right. Because if you don't do that, if you have the money to start it or not, then you're going to reach halfway and people are going to start mocking. That's reality. Yeah. you're living in a half-done house, or you have a half-catch business, as you know, something like that. So that's, you know, you don't know the cost of joining Christ, and you go and join him. When you come up and you realize the things that you're going to have to give up on things, and you follow the truth, you become a market. That's what in referring to. Because many people come into the truth, but they didn't know that they'll have to give up so much things. But you know, it's a good thing that majority of us coming into the truth now don't mind giving up those most of those things, because it's not beneficial to us anyway. It pushes us in a rough life. So if it makes our life hard or difficult, then why not give it up? I mean, you're out there in the world now, you smoke, you do this, you do that. But when you come in the truth now, you realize that you have to give up the smoking, but the life in the truth is better.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, you wouldn't mind giving up smoking.
Right.
That demon that you might have now go and tell you, oh, you need a cigarette, oh, you need this. But like Christ said, if that happens to you and you have to give in to it, then you become a slave. That's how you become a slave to sin, you know. If you are a smoker and you can say, all right, you know, I'm gonna smoke for the next couple of days or whatever, and you can make that decision and do it, then you become a slave to sin.
Can.
Right? Like some people, like they can't go out and have a meal and not smoke.
Mhm.
Yeah, they cannot do that. If
Okay.
they do that, it's like they are punishing themselves. Right?
Okay.
All right, so let's just jump into the thing there. We can take down that Officer Kayado.
Can, sir.
Come concert. The Bible says.
Hold on. Let's go down to tonight's section. Okay, this one now we should have management plan. So where we are now, we are at last week we talked about the funding. This week we're going to talk about getting into where is it? It's not on this slide. Getting into the thing there. What do you call it? Tables. We want to get into the tables. You actually putting pen to paper now. And by putting pen to paper, I mean you're counting the costs of starting a new business. All right, we want to talk about the detail, we provide a detailed capital cost. So you provide a detailed capital cost by thinking, okay, so you divided your capital cost table into about 3. You think about the things you're going to need to get the business started. You think about the things you're going to need, which is like the things which which is the thing which runs the business. Like, give me a business. We talked about again last week, Trooper.
Salakia. Salakia, I don't want like entrepreneurship, starting your own business.
Yeah, which one?
Salakia, sir, slip my mind, sir.
All right. Let's say we were making a factory. A small thing where we want to make some blocks and sell it. Right?
Come.
So would now be at the level where you need to come up with the capital costs. What capital mean?
Salakia, sir.
Yeah.
Money.
Means money. What else? So this is a capital cost what we're talking about. I don't think that's talking about.
So like, yes, sir, the overall cost.
All right. It's not really overall in about. It's like the startup cost.
Startup, okay.
One of the startup costs, because wages is not involved in this. And you're going to need wages. But there are some things that you're going to need to buy in order to get started. So, think of you, like we say, you want to start up with that little block factory. One time block factory was, rising across the island. You think of, suppose you have to buy land. So if you set a table like this, item, unit, quantity, rate, total. Suppose you have to buy land. Here now we estimate you want 2-acre land at $1 million per acre. So that's $2 million right there. The cost of farming your business. I have $25,000 there, but it really costs more than that. Because you actually need to travel and so on to farm your business.
So like, yes.
Fees, yes.
What is farming your business?
Registering your business.
Registering it.
So you get your business legally registered. You might need to put up a building. If I want to shed, it comes with a cost. You might have to, if you go and buy some plywood and get somebody to nail them up, it comes with a cost. Part of your capital cost. These are one-off costs. So these are not recurring costs. That's why it is capital cost. You pay it once, and it's supposed to hold you for a while. Then there's the equipment directly related to the business. So you have the indirect related costs, which you must find. And then there is that which is directly related, like your equipment. Suppose you need a truck, suppose you need tools, suppose you need, and right here, so personnel still not there. Because you're talking about your equipment that you will need for your business. And then talk about your office furniture. Because you have to have an office. Desk, much desk you might need, you have to figure that out. Right? Based on the size business that you want? Is it a business where you're only employing, just the workers outside and you and maybe a secretary doing some work there? You might just need one or two desks. But if we're going to start up with, if I need that with an accountant and so on and so forth, you need several desks. So all that comes from this stage before you even start it. Think how you're going to do it. You might need a computer. And then in starting up a business, there is fees. Your professional fees. The man who you're going to pay to do your initial accounting, your initial planning, to set up your business plan. You have to pay him too. Generally, sometimes you pay them a tidy sum because he's the man who formulates the thing for you. So you know if the business you are planning, if it can work or not. All right. So this is one of the main tables in starting the business. You think about your capital cost, the things you need to buy to get the business started, which is not the things which is needed to keep you're going to buy each month or whatever. These are one-off costs. Right. So, yes.
I don't want, you said these are one-time costs?
Right, one-off.
One-off?
Yes, to start the business, to get the business started.
Okay. Come, sir.
Right. Other things that you probably need in it, if furniture, office furniture, you probably need chairs, fax machine, utilities like your scissors, your paper, your printer, and so on.
Right.
If you're doing them kind of outdoor, if it's an outdoor kind of business, probably you need a forklift.
Fax machine.
Yeah.
Come.
All that is thought of at this stage.
Come.
You don't set you don't what the planning does is to eliminate surprises.
Come.
After you go through all this, any obstacle you reach is not an obstacle which gonna make you too surprised. So, damn, this big cost, I didn't see this coming.
Come.
Right. Yes.
It's not gonna make or break you.
Right.
Come.
Some small thing that, because many times in these now you put a contingency, put on a contingency fee, like it's gonna cost me 10 million. I'm gonna put another million as contingency. So any small thing that you miss can come out of that.
Come.
Right. So that this is a very intricate, integral part of your business plan. All right. The next week now we'll look at another table. Which other one we look at next week now? You have capital replacement now, where some of these same items that are the one-off, you might have to replace them 3 years or 4 years down the line. You understand? Like, you have a vehicle, you might need to replace it a couple of years, 3-4 years down the line. Because when you have these vehicles for these commercial uses, they are well worked in within a year. The depreciation on them becomes heavy. I understand. And the next, another table is operating outputs. Right. So next session, we go into more tables. Right. So questions, comments?
So lucky Adawan.
Yeah.
If I just could make sure that I got the right understanding of what a contingency account is. That's for like unexpected situations or like emergency.
Right.
Okay.
Something that's a sum that you would put aside for events which is going to happen, which you didn't expect.
Sir.
Because there's all right. Think of you driving down a road. You know the road, you do your planning, but while you're on the road, things happen on the road which you don't know about.
Right.
Right. You pick up a puncture, you see a roadblock, you have to detour, things like those. But you know the way. Well, the plan, your business plan is your roadmap. So you know the road that you're going to take, but there are obstacles along that road that you're not going to see.
Right.
That's where your contingency costs. Suppose the contingency sum supposed to take care of that. Because if you are able to see the major things, like you're going down the road, you know that the mile it's so and so miles, so you buy enough gas. So you know on the road you're not going to run out of gas, but at the same time you walk with an extra bottle of gas, the big gas jug, them put it in the back of your vehicle. In case you have to detour from the normal route, which is going to burn some more gas. That extra gas now is your contingency. That spare tire that you have in a car, that's your contingency plan. Right. Same thing with the business plan.
Sir. The water.
All right. I am the bar. All right. Any other questions, comments?
Sir.
All right. So, want to go? You have the thing there queue up, Officer Kayadwan. The Passover.
Let me get it real quick, sir. So lucky.
All right. So, when we started up our business, if we're going to sit and wait and say, we need a business loan, we need a bank loan to start our business, you're probably going to be a late non-starter, because even if you get that loan, it's probably going to throw you off, because these loans from the banks are predatory lending. These institutions are predatory lending institutions. So, what some people do, they have a 9 to 5 right now. They're going to start hustle on the side. Many times the bank call them in for a personal loan. They take it. They're paying for that personal loan by the 9 to 5. So if you can reinvest that money that you borrow, you'll be out of the game. But to be depending on the same business to repay that loan could be a problem. Especially in this day and age, nothing guaranteed.
So yes.
Yeah.
My internet go out a while ago. Can you just repeat what you said a while ago?
I said that if you're going to start a business, you think of getting a bank loan, you're going to be a late non-starter. Because even if you get the loan, you're going to run into some problem. Because these institutions are predator lending institutions by nature. But what some people do, the bank oftentimes pre-qualify them for a personal loan. So they take a personal loan, they're paying for that personal loan from a 9-to-5 job. But they're able to reinvest that money. So I say, if you are able to do that, then you'll be ahead of the game.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because you're not going to invest that money. You're not going to depend on that new venture to repay that money.
Okay, good.
So that kind of put you ahead of the game. That's better for your business. Funding is always a big issue when it comes to business. So, you have to think and outthink how you're going to fund that business. You have to outthink the bank.
Okay.
Right.
So, Lucky.
Yes.
So, Adawan, you're saying this it's better to have more than one source of income to pay when it comes to paying off those loans than having just one source of income.
Right.
Come.
That's it. If you are able to have more one source of income, you'll be ahead of the game. But when you're depending on a new business to repay a loan, remember, you know, really, even though you said you're going to start a business, you don't really put anything out there. If you notice how these oppressors do business, like when they come to Jamaica to do business, you will hear that the government guarantee them certain profit.
Right.
You ever hear that, Officer Kayana? Really? You need to pay close attention to them. If you hear that this company coming here to invest, try and get every news that you can get about that venture. Somewhere along the line, you're going to see where the government either becomes their biggest client or like telephone company, the government actually put it in writing to them, guaranteeing them a certain percentage of return on their money. China Harbor came to Jamaica. When the first contract they did out here, they were guaranteed a certain amount of money on their investment. The Chinese, when they just, the last set of Chinese that came, influx of Chinese, what the government did was, how they guaranteed them some money was to give them like about 5 years tax-free operation. So I said, okay, you don't pay any taxes for 5 years. So those are ways in which they were in these institutions, new business, but they were guaranteed a profit. You and I don't have that privilege. Yeah, once you have a business that is guaranteed a profit, you're actually guaranteed a loan. The bank is going to be, okay, yeah, I want to lend this man, because even if the business don't make any money, the government will have to pass some money to him. That is what is guaranteed the profit means. The business don't make money, you're supposed to give me some money. And these are actually cruel to Black people who want to start business. So you see, We are light years behind the game. That's the reality.
Oh gosh.
All right. So with that, any further questions are coming?
Last.
Sir.
All right. So take us out, Officer Kayado. And Shalom, remember to pay your tithes. And remember the Passover. And some of you, if you're listening and you're not going to the Passover because you're not an Israelite, still give you some money, donate it. You go up on the website and pay some money. Yes.
God.
Right. Hey man, we would appreciate it. To push our work. So the Lord might smile on you on that day and say, he is not an Israelite, but he had a good intention against Israelites. So I'll save him. All right. So with that, Shalom, bros.
Shalom.
Yahweh
All right, remember, like, share, subscribe, you know what I mean? This is the Conflict Zone hosted by Officer Abadawan. Shalom.
School of Universal and Practical Knowledge under commanding General YAHANNA presents the Lord's 55th annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 55th annual Passover is rapidly approaching. Commanding General YAHANNA is calling for all Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to remember what the Lord did for us by saving us from our oppressors and choosing us to be a special people unto him, the real Jews and Israelites. Passover will be held in Durham, North Carolina. Pay your Passover fee. Anyone 17 years of age or older must pay $200. Come and enjoy fresh lamb, unleavened bread, and the Spirit of Christ. Can't wait to see you all there, Israel. Shalom.